Forget everything you've seen in cartoons. Forget the cute, fuzzy pollinators happily buzzing from flower to flower. That's a lie. A convenient piece of propaganda designed to make you feel good about the honey you put in your tea. The reality of being a bee is a short, brutal, and utterly thankless existence. It's a life of relentless labor, mindless sacrifice, and absolute conformity. All dictated by a tyrannical queen you serve but will never truly know. You think your corporate job is soul-crushing? Welcome to the hive. You're about to experience what it's like to be a true corporate drone. A biological robot born with a pre-written job description and an expiration date stamped on your very DNA. This isn't a life. It's a 6-week sentence of hard labor. Phase 1. The birth of a nobody. You don't enter the world with a gentle welcome. You awaken by chewing your way out of a cramped, waxy prison cell, surrounded by darkness and the deafening hum of thousands upon thousands of your sisters. There is no mother to greet you, no individual recognition. You are just one of up to 80,000 identical siblings, another nameless face in a suffocating crowd. Your official designation is worker bee, and your value is measured solely by your output. Congratulations, you're a disposable cog in a ruthless machine, and your first taste of this glorious existence. Your very first job, assigned to you moments after you're born, is to be a janitor. That's right. Before you even learn to fly, before you see a single flower, your purpose is to clean. You immediately turn back to the cell you just escaped and start tidying it up, scrubbing it with your mandibles until it's pristine, ready for the queen to dump another egg in it. You are a biological Roomba, programmed for sanitation. You spend the first few days of your life cleaning up after your countless siblings, tidying up filth and debris, ensuring the hive's sterile, oppressive order is maintained. You were literally born to take out the trash. Phase 2. The thankless grind of hive life. After you've proven your worth as a sanitation expert, you get a promotion. And by promotion, I mean you reassign an even more demanding and soul-crushing series of tasks inside the hive's eternal twilight. You will not see the sun for weeks. Your world is the monotonous, suffocating labyrinth of wax and honey. Your next role is that of a nurse. You're now responsible for the next generation of disposable workers. You spend your days and nights feeding larvae your younger sisters a delightful substance called brood food, a secretion from glands in your own head. You are a walking feeding tube. You'll feed a single larva up to 1,300 times a day. You're an overworked, underpaid nanny to thousands of babies, none of whom will ever know your name. You do this under the watchful, pheromone-drenched presence of your mother, the queen. She is not a benevolent ruler. She is an egg-laying machine, a tyrannical biological imperative, who can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day. That's more than her own body weight in eggs, every single day. Her entire existence is dedicated to pumping out more sisters for you to take care of. You and the other nurses work tirelessly to feed her royal jelly, clean her, and carry away her waste. Also, she can continue to populate this prison with more inmates. You are her servant, her enabler, her janitor. You exist for her, but to her, you are utterly insignificant. Once you've aged out of nursing, you get another career change. You become an architect and a builder. But you don't get blueprints or tools. You create the building materials with your own body. You gorge on honey, and special glands on your abdomen begin to sweat out tiny flakes of wax. You are a living 3D printer, and your filament is secreted from your own insides. You and your sisters take these wax flakes, chew them into a pliable material, and begin constructing the honeycomb. You build perfect, identical hexagons, over and over and over again. It is a marvel of natural engineering, yes, but for you, it's a mind-numbing, repetitive task on an assembly line that never stops. Every cell must be perfect, every angle precise. It's a testament to the hive's absolute obsession with efficiency and uniformity. An obsession that has completely erased any possibility of creativity or individuality. During this phase, you also take on other glorious jobs. You become a honey chemist, taking the nectar brought in by foragers, regurgitating it, passing it to another sister who regurgitates it, adding enzymes until it becomes honey. You are part of a value chain. You become a living air conditioner, standing at the hive entrance and beating your wings tirelessly to ventilate the colony and regulate its temperature. On a hot day, you might do this until you drop from sheer exhaustion. And then comes the most stressful job of all, guard duty. You are now the bouncer at the gates of this fortress. You spend your days sniffing every bee that tries to enter, ensuring they have the correct pheromonal ID badge. If a bee from another hive tries to sneak in to steal some honey, it's your job to attack, fight, and kill them. But that's the easy part. The real horror is when a true monster arrives. To you, a creature like a wasp or a hornet is a terrifying, armored beast from your worst nightmares. A bear tearing into the hive is a living apocalypse. Your job is to face this. You are an expendable security guard, a single, tiny soldier standing against a god. Your only real weapon is a kamikaze attack. You are expected to die for the hive without a second thought, and spoiler alert, you will. Phase 3, the suicide mission of the forager. After about 3 weeks of this relentless, sunless grind, you are finally deemed old enough and disposable enough to be sent outside. You have now been promoted to the role of forager. This is the final, and by far the most dangerous, job you will ever have. This is the job that will kill you. Your first flight is a moment of terrifying awe. You emerge from the dark, humming confines of the hive into a blindingly bright, overwhelmingly vast world. For a split second, you might feel a sense of freedom. This feeling is a lie. The outside world is not a beautiful meadow. It's a war zone, and you are a soldier on a one-way mission. Your life expectancy plummets from weeks to mere days. Everything out here wants to kill you. Birds will snatch you out of the air. Spiders will trap you in invisible webs. Praying mantises will ambush you on the very flowers you seek. The world is a minefield of predators. Even the weather is your enemy. A strong gust of wind can send you tumbling to the ground, disoriented and lost. A sudden rainstorm is a death sentence. The heavy drops can batter your wings and soak your body, leaving you grounded and helpless, doomed to die of exposure just feet from the safety of your hive. But the most insidious killer is one you can't even see: pesticides. The very flowers that should be your salvation are often laced with invisible poisons. These neurotoxins can scramble your navigational senses, making it impossible for you to find your way home. You fly aimlessly, confused and panicked, until your energy reserves are depleted and you drop dead in a foreign field. Your collected nectar wasted, your life's work amounting to nothing. And what is that work? It's an act of impossible physics and brutal labor. You will fly up to 5 miles from your hive, visiting 50 to 100 flowers on a single trip. You use your proboscis to suck up nectar, storing it in a special stomach, until you are carrying nearly your own body weight. Imagine a person being forced to carry a backpack that weighs as much as they do, for miles, every single day. That is your life. Your wings, delicate and fragile, will beat about 200 times per second. Over the course of your short life as a forager, you will fly a total distance equivalent to circling the entire Earth. Let that sink in. You will fly over 24,000 miles to produce, at the end of your life, about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. That is the sum total of your life's greatest effort, a fraction of a condiment. When you return to the hive, exhausted and heavy, your work isn't done. You must perform the famous waggle dance. This isn't a cute, happy dance. It's a complex, exhausting work report. You contort your body into a series of precise figures of 8 to communicate the exact direction and distance of the flowers you found. It is a feat of abstract communication, but it's just another piece of labor demanded of you before you are allowed to collapse. A quick word on the males as a female worker: your life is a nightmare. But you might occasionally notice the other residents of the hive, the male drones, and you will feel nothing but scorn. Their lives are, if possible, even more pathetic than yours. Drones do no work. They don't clean, they don't build, they don't guard, they don't forage. Their sole purpose is to fly out once a day and try to mate with a virgin queen from another colony. This is their only reason for existing. If one of them is successful, he is rewarded by having his genitals violently ripped from his body during the act, and he plummets to the ground to die. A successful life ends in sexual If they fail, which most of them do, their fate is even worse. As autumn approaches and resources become scarce, you and your sisters will decide the drones are no longer worth the food they consume. You will collectively block them from re-entering the hive, or simply drag them out and leave them to starve or freeze to death. Their existence is a true no-win scenario. Die a gruesome death in service, or be exiled to die a slow one in failure. The inevitable lonely end. Your end will not be peaceful. You don't get a retirement plan, you don't get to rest. You work until you break. Perhaps you'll face a predator and be forced to use your only true weapon, your sting. To sting a mammal is a suicide mission. Your stinger is barbed, and when you try to pull away, it remains lodged in the enemy's skin. But it doesn't just rip out the stinger. It tears out a part of your digestive tract, your nerves, and your muscles. You will fly away, mortally wounded, with your own insides trailing behind you, and die in agony minutes later. You sacrifice your life for a single moment of defense, and the hive will have replaced you before your body has even had a chance to cool. But for most foragers, the end is less dramatic and far more tragic. After weeks of relentless flying, your body simply gives out. Your wings become tattered and frayed. Your muscles ache. Your navigation begins to fail. One day, on your final trip, you will simply not have the strength to make it back. You will crash land in a field, cold and alone, your honey stomach full but your body empty of energy. As darkness falls, you will lie there, a forgotten, broken-down machine. Your short, brutal sentence finally served. No one will come for you. No one in the hive will notice you're gone. There will be no funeral, no moment of silence. Your ID number is simply wiped from the roster, and a new younger sister has already taken your place, cleaning a cell, feeding a larva, and starting the exact same miserable cycle all over again. All of that work, all that sacrifice, all that suffering, all for a system that saw you as nothing more than a statistic. You lived and died for the colony, a tiny, insignificant part of a superorganism that will continue on without you, built upon the millions of broken bodies of sisters you never knew. It didn't just suck to be a bee, it was a tragedy.